So Drink Beer Save Farms is a catchy slogan that has really, it took off about 3 years ago, and it's really turned into something exciting, wherein Farmland Trust hosts events with different organizations. Typically we get the beer donated such that proceeds from beer sales are donated to Farmland Trust, and we save farms for a living. So that's how drinking the beer helps save the farms. Our relationship with the State Fair, again, started many years ago with the closing of the easement in 2015, and this idea about the brew-tapped Drink Beer Save Farms with the supersaturated sugar strings kind of came into fruition.
It was advantageous for the fair to protect that property because many parcels were being built, subdivisions were being built. Wouldn't have been great for the fair for a subdivision to be right across from the fairgrounds, but increased traffic, preservation of ag lands is very important, and the Springer system has the best ag lands in the whole state, and to be able to preserve that 40 was important.
We have worked hard at Farmland Trust to seek out those brewers that are good neighbors and good members of the business community and that are utilizing these incredible local products that we have. Agriculture is a big part of this community, and they need as many local products as they can get, and they love sourcing local. And connecting those farmers with the brewers has been a really fun part of my job.
I'm Phoebe Autry, and I'm 28 years old. I am the production manager of APU's Spring Creek Farm. So basically, it's a fancy title to say that I am the farmer here. I grow all the vegetables.
We're here today at Alaska Pacific University's Spring Creek Farm to talk about beet production.
Beets are a root crop. They same family as Swiss chard. I'm sure a lot of people could recognize that they look very similar. I personally think beets have this very earthy flavor, a little bit of a almost like tannin kind of flavor. The goldens are a lot milder in that regard, and reds are kind of a little bit more like kind of that strong irony flavor, but they're delicious.
But I can just pop this green in my mouth?
Yep, the greens are edible.
But don't try this at home without washing it?
I can't recommend it.
I washed it like this.
Yep, so it would be just it tastes like exactly like Swiss chard.
It's a very dirty flavor.
Not into it?
That might be an acquired taste.
Hey, we should, if we're gonna do Bleeding Heart Brewery, we should have a red beer. What would be a red beer? And I was like, beets. Let's use beets. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, beets are red. He's like, how am I gonna? So there was this huge process of when to add juice, how much juice, what to use, and he's really nailed it.
We eventually got there.
So it was really cool to be able to be like a vegetable farm selling to a brewery and selling to a brewery that makes really, really good beer. So yeah.
So are you storing those on site? Are you using those right away in the beer making process? Or?
So originally we would go through and juice them all and then can them, and that did not work. They eventually started to coagulate.
They turned into syrup.
Yeah.
But almost like jelly.
The grain.
You could cut it up into pieces, this weird gelatinous. Yeah. But you don't get, it's not juice anymore.
We just talked with Phoebe over at Spring Creek Farm, and she said that she's giving you late season beets, or sort of August to September beets, in 2 rounds.
Even the beet IPA changes every batch. Not the specifics of how he brews it most of the time, but just the quality of beets, the year that time in the year that we get the beets.
In order to make high quality products, you have to use high quality ingredients, and I think that Palmer has some of the best produce.
We've made an all call to people hey, if you've got berries or fruit or anything that you grew and it's in your freezer, we'll take it. You got to clean out your freezer, we'll take it. We'll put it in a beer. We'll figure something out. Our beer is beer that's brewed by a community. And that's kind of been the idea ever since the beginning. If we can get it locally, we will.
We're here at Vanderweel Farms to talk with farmer Glenn Vanderweel about barley production, taking the barley from seed all the way through the malting process.
My name is Glenn Vanderwill. We're in a small field of malting barley.
Beer makers that they say, oh, we need 2-row barley, which versus a 6-row barley.
Yes.
So can you, is it a physical thing on the
Yes,
head of the?
If you look at the head of the barley, you see these are actually called barley berries.
Okay.
And this is a 6-row barley.
Okay, so you count them along?
Yeah, you count them in a circumference.
Oh, gotcha.
And then a 2-row barley, there would just be 2 up there.
So this can be made for beer making. Why do a lot of brewers say, oh, we use 2-row barley for beer
Well,
making?
that's like the rule of thumb. You know, the 6-row barley is a feed barley, and the 2-row barley is a malting barley. But as with everything else, you know, there are exceptions. And a 6-row barley, if it is grown correctly, will still make a good malting barley. But obviously, if you have 6 rows on each plant, you're going to get a lot more ton to the acre.
In Alaska in particular, we have a lot of sunshine.
Yes, yes.
So how does that impact the barley head?
Well, we're still learning that.
Oh.
That's part of, you know, that's why I only have like 3 acres and not hundreds, and I don't have a full-scale production. To malt it, it's not that difficult. To make all the batches the same, that's where the magic comes in.
That's the science behind the malting
Yes.
process. Can we talk, do you have the malting facility?
The malting facility is a test box that I built that does about 50 pounds at a time just to learn the process. You know, I don't control the rain or the heat. Because if somebody told me what the weather is going to be for the entire summer, I would put the right fertilizer down. But that hasn't happened yet. But the little test batches that I've made so far, I've had a couple of friends make beer out of them, Bleeding Heart being one of them. And I've actually talked to almost all of the breweries already. They're like, whatever you got, I'll take all of it. And they got some systems, you know, 10 or 20 barrel systems. And, you know, if I do one batch, I can almost make 1 barrel. So
Yeah, and they're doing like 120, 130 barrels at a time.
Yes. So they're like, come on, get bigger.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to get bigger. I mean, just take out a loan and buy a bunch of equipment, but I can't make the batches the same yet. And they're going to go, hey, it made this kind of beer the first time we ran it, but it made this kind of beer the second time we ran it. What is going on? So I have to learn that first. I don't want to give them a product that is not consistent and it doesn't have quality.
My name is Brian. This is my wife Lori, and we own Alaska Berries Winery in Soldotna, Alaska. But anyway, we're a small fruit farm that grows everything we need to make our fruit wines, which are strawberries, raspberries, different types of gooseberries, red currants, black currants, Saskatoons, rhubarb,
Ascaps.
and blueberries, and our flagship crop is our Hascat berry, which is most folks have never heard of that, and we started growing that. That's what we built our branding around is the Hascat berry, because it's the new super berry as far as the health benefits go. You know, we started that way. We started, you know, finding and experimenting with lots of different varieties of plants that see if they would work, how well did they work, and if they didn't, they would come out of the field. And so we have trialed lots of different types of fruit plants, and we still trial fruit plants every year, experiment with new varieties of different types of fruit.
The State Fair purchased some of our wine, and we donated some wine as well so that we could participate in the Brewtap event this year to benefit the Alaska Farmland Trust. The Alaska Farmland Trust is one of the organizations that we are really happy to support because we believe that farming is so necessary for Alaska. We're very food insecure here, and in order for people to continue to grow food and to become more food secure, we need to keep land under cultivation.
It's a family business with my brother, Stephen, and my sister-in-law, June. So 3 of us it's a family business. We were the original brewery in Palmer, the first brewery, which will always be the most important thing to us, our emphasis to be a local community brewer, right? Nowadays, people say, well, what are we doing tonight? We're drinking beer. Okay, well, what kind of beer? Okay, IPA. Well, what kind of IPA? This kind of IPA. Well, from what brewery? People have an excellent beer that they can't stop talking about, but the next time they drink, they want to move on to the next one. And that's the beauty of craft beer. That's
It's a challenge, but that's what keeps it fun.
and that keeps us excited. That keeps it exciting for us. When we do new beers, we try to change it up, we try to mix it up, and come up with creative things. But as a business, as a brewery, if you're distributing beers and you're brewing beers on a regular basis that you package, bottles or cans or kegs, you need to be very attuned to the consistency, because it's not about you. It's about somebody that's putting down their hard-earned money and has an expectation of what they're getting. And so we have to focus on quality even when we get crazy.
We thank you as From Palmer sort of bringing the brew culture to us, and that's, I think, your everlasting impact on the brewing industry here should be marked and noted in time.
You're monstrous. We've learned a lot along the way too. We've learned a lot along the way as well. What people want, right? And how to give back.
Why is it for an organization like Alaska Farmland Trust, you guys sort of give so fully from the heart, would you say?
Because the people that are part of the Alaska Farmland Trust are people from the community. And they have supported us from the beginning when we actually didn't have anything but a dream and some hard work. They came and they got us going. So now it's only natural that a brewery, that we give back to them.
Today we are standing on one of our protected properties. We're at the State Fair. This 40-acre parcel was permanently protected about 5 years ago, and it will stay farmland forever. That's what we do at Farmland Trust. We permanently protect property forever. Drink Beer Save Farms is an event that we do, a fundraiser, to help raise awareness about what the trust does and to raise money. So it costs big money to protect these farms. It's real money, but it's worth it because the property is protected forever. You come to one of our Drink Beer Save Farms events, particularly at the fair, you drink beer, the proceeds from the beer sales are donated to Farmland Trust. We can protect another property and have agriculture in this valley forever. What could be better, right?
Beer is an agriculturally driven thing. Barley, hops, many people don't know that hops are a green vining plant, right? So it's a growth. Water, good water, yeast, those are all living things, and absolutely an agricultural area plays a large part in that.
Knowing that Alaska Farmland Trust is keeping some of these areas available for essentially for the next generation. I'm not known for being a real soft guy, but that's you know,
Makes you
it
a bleeding
gets me
heart.
right in the feels.
Yeah.
That's right. It gets me.
We have really amazing soils here. We have beautiful glacial silty soils that are really nice to grow in. We have great sunlight. As being in Alaska, obviously in the middle of summer we're getting 20 hours of sunlight, so things grow really well here and they size up without really you even trying. So I don't know, I think it's a really perfect ecosystem and climate to really grow in. I mean, people see challenges with growing in Alaska, but I think there's a lot of benefits as well.
Partnering the fair and ag is not like a partnership, it is the essence of the state fair, and I think everyone at the state fair realizes that. Of course, there's many other things that are revenue generating in order to bring the fair, but the heart of the fair is agriculture.